My point is, Owen wouldn't have been able to do a single thing back then. Let's not forget how you could have spoken up about Devante sleeping with Elvira after she lost her life. See you around. Clarice, what problem do you have with Vivian? What are friends for? Theodosius's palace was supposed to be mine. What are you talking about? I haven't lost my mind, Isabel. I'm serious. After I heard how your husband took my aunt's life, I was trying to go after this hotel. Why do you think the guest list kept shrinking these past few months? My dad agreed to help me. Your place is small. I was gonna say nice, but it's smaller than what you're used to. Now you get a glimpse of how a regular, struggling Gen Zer gets to live, Pacho. You make it work, Vivian. I respect it. And like I said, your place looks nice, but I see why you want to go after the Russos. All I'm doing is going after what belongs to me. Yvette, long time no see. I heard you were back from rehab, and you've been trying to avoid me ever since. What's going on, Wanda? I didn't get to tell you this while we were celebrating the other day, but now I feel like today's the appropriate time. The appropriate time to tell me what? To tell you how Udell never really stopped blaming me for Elvira's passing. Essador, I don't want you to lie to me. Is what Alan is saying true? My intention wasn't to hurt you, Isabel. What do you mean? You and your son conspired to take away my daughter's birthright. And I would have made sure that you and your daughters were well taken care of. Don't. Alan told me how you two were behind the number of guests here plummeting. I remember Devante telling me that the document stating he had an STD while married to me was falsified. You're behind it, and I want the truth. Yes. How does going after the Russos equate to what belongs to you? I'll fill you in eventually, Pacho. But how are you doing with your dad being in prison? Sorry I didn't get to check in on you at court. No worries. What we don't need are the Russos being suspicious of you. I'm glad my father's finally paying for his crimes. Why does it sound like your dad wasn't good to you growing up? I haven't been trying to avoid you, Max. Since I dropped the charges against you, I don't think we have anything to say to each other. I'll start off by thanking you for dropping those charges against me, which put an end to this nightmare. Granted, it might have ended sooner and even fatally if I succeeded in taking my own life. I'm really sorry for the hurt you felt. Are you sorry, Yvette? I guess that explains why you seemed a bit off when we celebrated my win. We were supposed to celebrate, and I didn't want my issues to ruin it. When I told Udell about spending time with you, we went back and forth. After I pointed out that we should be grateful for your win in court, he just spat out how I kept Devante's secret for all of these years. Udell should know that I only prosecuted Devante because it was the right thing to do. I know, but I was thrown aback at how Udell threw my biggest mistake in my face, especially when I thought we'd moved past all that. Maybe he truly did forgive you, Wanda, but he clearly didn't forget. Unfortunately, he might always bring it up whenever he can't control his emotions. I asked you, Essador. I asked you if you created the fake document. Instead, you lied to my face, just like you always do, just like you always have. Isabel, please, just let me explain. Get out of my hotel. If you don't leave by the next minute, then I'll have you escorted out. That sure went sideways. You little bastard. No, Dad. Actually, the real bastard would have been the child Isabel got rid of. Not only am I your only child, but I'm legitimate since you married Mom. At this moment, I wouldn't have minded if your mother terminated her pregnancy when she got pregnant with you. One thing for sure is that I could still have a chance with Isabel if you never existed. That was really harsh. Are you okay, Alan? Believe it or not, my father was amazing growing up. What changed? Puberty. My father noticed me growing into a man who was supposed to carry on the family legacy and take over Theodosius' palace someday. But you didn't want to run the hotel? I wouldn't have minded, but I wanted so much in life in my teen years. Solely focusing on my family's hotel would have hindered my dreams and goals in life. Because I was such a dreamer, it put my father and I at odds. It wasn't until I found out my father was involved in illegal activity, which pushed me away. Since then, I've seen the world and I'm back in Valley Park, making sure my family's taken care of since my father clearly can't look out for them. Enough about me, Vivian. I came over to help you. What exactly do you want with Russo Jewelers? That's the thing, Pacho. It's not about what I want with Russo Jewelers. I want the company itself. I never wanted to see you lose your life, Max. You kinda did. Sure, maybe you didn't want to see me go 6 feet under, but if your lie went far, then my life would have been over if I went to prison. Well, you're not going to prison, which means we can both move on with our lives. Maybe you can go on with your life just fine, Yvette, but as for me, I still have a few obstacles in my way. How can I move past all of this if you won't even try to clear my name? Udell always bringing it up is what I fear the most. It feels just like how things were this past Christmas. Udell is foolish to bring up your teenage mistakes. Just remember that you can always reach out if he gives you any more issues. Dr. Burke? Dr. Murphy. What exactly are you doing here? I came here to get a nice meal. Since Devontae was found guilty, I felt like it was safe to support this hotel again. But I couldn't help but overhear the horrible thing your father just told you. It sounded hurtful. What else is new? At least my dad is struggling with me as his son, just like I'm struggling with him as my father. It doesn't excuse the fact that Isidore Russo is a grumpy, cold-hearted man. What sort of things has he done to you, Dr. Murphy? You're gonna try to create a hostile takeover of Russo Jewelers? Why? Everything will be revealed once the company is mine. How do you even plan to get shares to the company? I have my ways. My first step is to gain the family's trust, but I've come across a stumbling block. How so? Lorenzo's wife, Clarice. She never fails to give me the side eye. Everyone else seems to like me, but I can't have her being suspicious of me. It's too much of a risk. I don't see what the problem is. Use Clarice's dislike against you, against the Russos. Vivian, this is a sort of family which will trample over each other to get on top. I've noticed. Thanks for the words of wisdom, Pacho. And from now on, you can just call me Viv, since that's what my friends call me. You mean to tell me that dropping the charges weren't good enough? I'm grateful that I won't be facing criminal charges, Yvette, but you also need to remember that I was arrested in school. It's an image no one can forget. Why do you even care what other people think? Besides, it's not like any of this will affect your future. Not only did you dodge getting a criminal record, but your family's got a position open for you in their company. I know. And yeah, my goal is to still run my family's business one day, but I've given my life to Christ. I want to bring Russo Jewelers to new heights, but since I'm a new believer now, I do want you to know that I don't hate you at all. But Yvette, I also hope you can make things right. Talk to you later. Were you on the phone with Wanda Mitchell? It's none of your business, D.A. Russo. Wow. I'm met with disrespect when I came to congratulate you on your win against Devontae Torres. If you're so bent on congratulating me, then how come you didn't do so at court? As DA, my life gets really busy, In fact, my family has become a fan of yours, even when I tried to prosecute your son. But the most important thing is that you didn't, which is why I'm even more impressed by you actually doing your job and going after real criminals. Owen was just on the phone with his best friend. Sounds like everything is lining up in place. Thank you for letting me in when it comes to getting justice for Max. Now we can make sure Wanda and Owen get closer and closer. Whatever your father's done doesn't compare to the sort of hurt he's caused you. Dr. Murphy, I don't want to disrespect your profession, but those words didn't make me feel better at all. You're one funny person, Alan. I've actually heard those same words plenty of times before. Guess I've got a lot of growing to do as a doctor. If you must know, I was voted class clown in 7th and 12th grade. Sadly, my family wouldn't have supported me if I pursued a career in stand-up comedy. Your family has no idea how lucky they are to have you. Don't let your dad's harshness or your family's expectation steal your joy, Alan. Don't ever do that again. You saw that, didn't you? She kissed me back, didn't she?